at a very young age, and we're going to be bringing you here. All that and much more coming up at our next edition of Cablevision Spotlight. We hope you'll join us then.
Just a couple of seconds away from kickoff here at Orange High School on a very chilly night for football. Really the coldest night we've had thus far. It was senior parents night below, so we had a nice crowd down below for Orange, and some people from Geauga County have made their way out here for tonight's matchup. A couple of teams that aren't used to being 2-6 overall, but you can't be 8-2 every year, I guess.
Well, Coach Reisland mentioned to us earlier that this is only the second losing season in the 21 years that he's coached, so it's like you said, it's not something that he's accustomed to at all.
There you see West Geauga back deep, Kevin Young in the middle, Jerry Flesher on the left, and Nick Gattosi on the right. Gattosi in 29, Flesher number 21. Set to kick off for Orange is number 28, Aria Ascari.
Very nicely done.
Thank you.
I was waiting for the first time you were going to say that.
So as Scotty said, you can see the water in the upper left-hand part of your screen. You can see the mud, but according to both of these teams and what we saw last week, the field is in excellent condition considering we had all this rain.
And also, yeah, I believe you mentioned before that they have JV soccer that plays here.
Oh, I'm varsity soccer. I'm sure
Sure
they play the JV games and all sorts of things on here, but this is the Orange's last home game. So it really doesn't matter what happens after this, I guess.
And you came equipped with the binoculars.
So Aria Ascari set to kick off, and he hits a high one right down the middle. Going to be taken by Kevin Young at the 19.
Big hole.
Young's across the 30, and he's to the 35 with lots of room on the far side. He nears midfield and gets dragged down at the 49-yard line. And just kind of squirted through there, Scotty, for some big yardage.
A couple of more steps, he may have been able to break it outside and quite possibly taking it all the way.
Kevin Young plays backup running back on this team. Rick Grip is the quarterback. Now, Grip went down in the second quarter of last week's game, and Orange really didn't know until about a half hour before game time whether they were going to see him at the quarterback. The two tailbacks, Nick Gattosi and Jerry Flesher, and the fullback is number 32, Matt Brizzelli. And you see they're going to run Gattosi in motion. He was a slot, and they give it on a counter right up the middle. And that was Flesher, number 21. And he picks up a couple, 3 or 4 yards.
Look for West G to do a lot of that tonight. Like to run the ball. Quite often go with the full house backfield.
One of the wideouts, Mike Chambers for West Geauga, and the tight end is Scott Curtis. We'll get to the offensive line on the next play. Give him a gain of 5 on the play. Second down and 5. Again, they run Gattosi as the slot. And it's Flesher again for another couple of yards, and he's about a yard shy of a first down. Let's get to the rest of that West Geauga offense. The left tackle is Matt Fife, number 63, and I was kidding Coach Schutz this week. I wonder if the kids call him Barney, and he said, yes, they do, as a matter of fact. There's the offensive backfield as we got through before. Wade Pinkston is the left guard. The center is Scott Callbearer. Shannon Black is the right guard, and Tim Pierce is the senior. And third down and a long one to go. And they give the ball to Brizzelli, and he's across the 40 down to the 39-yard line. That's good enough for a West Geauga first down. And as Scott said, West Geauga likes to keep the ball on the ground, and you couldn't have really picked a better night for it, except for the fact it's a little cold. Nights when it gets cold and not a whole lot of wind. But when you're a running team, it's nice to be able to keep it on the ground.
Craig, getting back real quick to the West G offensive line. They got to be a good one with 2/3 of their offense coming on the ground. So we'll want to keep an eye up front for the Wolverines.
First down and 10. They spotted the ball right on the 40-yard line.
Nice big hit.
And
watch out.
Gaping hole.
He is gone.
Brizzelli may go all the way, and he is into the end zone for a touchdown. Matt Brizzelli, the junior. Simple dive over the right side and gone from 40 yards out. And West Geauga has the ball, one possession, and they're into the end zone with 9:54 to go. And you see just outdistancing Adam Lustig, number 46.
He broke a nice tackle at the line of scrimmage as well. I thought that he was going to be tackled for a loss, but he bounced out and broke right outside.
John Roden into attempt the extra point. Rick Grip is the holder, and Roden is a sophomore, and he also plays on the soccer team. We've seen more and more of that the last couple of years. The football team gets their kicker from the soccer team.
All the kids with the great legs.
And a bad snap, and Grip is going to, and boy, the ball's still fumbling around, and finally the kicker has covered the ball. So John Roden covers the football, and we saw that in the pregame, having some trouble snapping the football tonight, and comes back there, and we'll see how big of a point that's going to turn out to be by the end of the game.
Well, it's also what we alluded to at the beginning, because when it's cold out, your fingers get cold, it's harder to grip the ball. The ground is muddy, harder to get a good solid snap. It's tough for the holder to get a good grip, so it takes more than just, there's a lot of contributing factors going into converting an extra point.
There you see Orange back deep. We should be seeing Howard Perlmuter back there, number 17, as well as Brian Fiari. And let's see if that's who they're sending back. You see Perlmuter, and they have changed on us.
I believe that's Fiari on the top of the...
Yeah, that may be. I think you're right, Scott. And I believe we've got DeMarlo Brown also back there, number 35. We'll see. To receive the kick of Mark Buchler, who happens to be another soccer player, and it's taken by one of the up men and fumbled and covered at the 26-yard line. Jason Moses had it and dropped it and covered it.
So that I don't have to say it too many times throughout the course of the game, when I remind the viewers at home, keep an eye on how many times the kids do bobble the ball, have trouble handling it on the short and long passes and the like, and see how much of a trouble the cold will have for the kids.
If there's any consolation tonight with the weather, Scott, it's the fact that there's no wind to be found, because it would be very nasty. Quarterback is number 22, Lance Reisland. Ascari and Fiari in the backfield, and they hand it to the deep back Fiari, trying to bounce outside. He may have fumbled the football, and Orange will get it back after a gain of a yard or so. So it'll be a second down. Fiari, the sophomore, number 27, and Ari Ascari, the junior. So you've got a Fiari and an Ascari in the backfield.
And Coach Reisland was telling us before kickoff to watch out for Ferrari. He only a sophomore. He looks for big things for him in the future.
Give him a gain of a yard on the last play, second down and 9. Ascari is the up back. Fiari is the deep back in the I formation. And Brian Blum to the top of your screen. They go right up the middle again to Fiari. And he gets across the 30 for a gain of a couple of yards on the last carry.
One point we didn't get to make in the open was how Orange, coming in at 2-6, much better than the record indicates. We talked earlier that they've lost, all of their losses have been by a combined less than 7 points. So you figure a couple of those, couple breaks here or there, take a mistake away here and there, and their record's much different than 2-6.
Third down and 6 now for the Lions. Reisland under center. And goes back to throw and lofts it over the head of number 80, Matt Hershey.
Craig, you want to keep an eye on the this punt unit. We watched Orange warming up before the game, and about every third or fourth, as we take a look at the replay of the overthrown pass, about every third or fourth snap was getting over his head. So Orange having a little bit of trouble in warming up.
Joe Franchino set the punt. Mike Chambers and Dave Schultz go back deep for West Geauga. And a good snap. Franchino gets it off on a nice high kick. Going to be taken by Chambers at about the 37. Runs into his own man and gets across the 40 to the 41, and that'll do it. Covered on the play by number 40 for Orange. Justin Sanford was the first man to meet him, so West Geauga gets the ball back.
Pretty good field position, about the 42-yard line. You know, we saw how they ground the ball out the first time, so you have to figure with the field conditions what they are. We'll probably stick with that for the most part of the game.
So first down at 10, they spot the ball on the 42-yard line of West Geauga. Again, they run the motion man. They hand it to the deep back in the eye, Griselli, and he picked up a yard or so. So a gain of about 2, 2nd down and 8 will be the call with 7:20 to go here in the first quarter. Craig Dees along with Scott Cirilla. And a little more enjoyable night for the crew, I would imagine, tonight, is even though it's cold. Last week they endured.
Not wet.
Wow, did they endure last week? The fact that they showed up again this week is testimony to that. Again, they go to Griselli, and he goes across the 45.
Sternheimer with a nice one-on-one tackle. Got him as he tried to break it out around the right-hand corner, around the end.
Bring up a 3rd down and 7 coming up, under 7 minutes to go.
Scott did what all good defensive back does against the run. Got up quickly, took him on, hit him low.
Now, West Geauga's made no secret this season about the fact that they do like to run the football. And now you're going to see Gattosi come to the bottom of your screen as a wideout, and they run the option and they kick it back to Flesher, and nowhere can he go, and we got a flag on the play. Number 1 was there first, Scott Sternheimer, and I think we're going to have a late hit, and a pretty well-advised late hit. Ill-advised, I should say.
Here's another look at it. Sternheimer coming in again.
And you see the hit right there, I believe, on Chad Garson. Unsportsmanlike conduct is the call.
This is a spot right from here. All right, so we got to put down, right?
And it'll be a 1st down. That'll give them the 1st down, Scotty, a 15-yarder.
10, 15. It's 1st down.
And Chad Garson, the senior, playing in his last home game, a little overzealous on that play, and that's the 3rd 1st down for West Geauga on the night.
It's too bad, too, with, excuse me, Craig, Sternheimer making that nice one-on-one tackle, moving West Geauga back, and as you mentioned, a little bit overzealous.
Brian Spencer now the man in the slot. And they're going to put it up across the middle, intended for Spencer and off the hands of Scott Sternheimer. And a 2nd down coming up.
Sternheimer looks good thus far. Stopped the option run, stopped the end around the corner, and was covering the man well on that pass pattern.
Sternheimer is not the biggest fellow in the world.
No, he's not.
He was the man who they introduced first on the defense, and he brought him out with all the Lions coming out behind him. A 2nd down and 10, under 6 minutes to go here in the first quarter. And a quarter so far, which West Geauga has kept the ball for most of the time. Spencer goes in motion again. And they run it up the middle to Gattosi. And Gattosi is close to the 1st down. I believe they've got Griselli on the far sideline, Scott. It looked like he hopped off after that penalty play. Not that he was the one hit, but that has brought Brian Spencer into the game, and I think we're going to...
Just shy of the 1st down.
And the 2 gentlemen you'll see running off and on the field a lot for West Geauga, Matt Fife, the left tackle, and Matt Troyer. They're the messenger tackles. And a 3rd down and less than a yard to go. Spencer again, the man in the slot. And he comes in motion. And we got movement. Quarterback kind of jumped out before the ball was snapped, and a miscue on West Geauga will make it a 3rd down and 6.
And you hate to see that when it's 3rd and less than a yard and such great field position. You just kind of...
We have a dead ball foul, false start here, 5-yard penalty. It's still 3rd down.
Todd Hockman, the captain of the Lions, who accepted the penalty, of course, and he had no choice. It's a dead ball foul.
You know, it was a wise choice.
So 3rd down and 6. Spencer in motion. And they hand the ball to Flesher, and Flesher is flushed out for a big loss. And I believe that we had Steve Spira there, number 66. Does that look right?
56.
56 was there. Jock Shirk.
There's another good look at it. Got good penetration off the line of scrimmage.
So a 4th down And the punt is away, try to angle it to the sideline and be taken by one of the up men. Coming to the near side with some running room.
Look out.
All kinds of room, and look out, he may go all the way.
He's got a one man to beat.
Howard Perlmutter is to the 10, to the 5, touchdown Orange.
What a fine piece of running. If we get another look at that, watch how he comes to the near side of the field. Had a lot of room to get started and did what all smart running backs do. He followed, he waited for his blockers, and he followed them, took the hole. Here's another look at it. He'll be coming to the bottom of the screen all by himself, waits for his blockers, picks and chooses where he wants to go.
Well, what a great example you talked about, Scotty. A great example of your people getting out ahead of you and leading the way.
What a great piece of running.
Brackett to attempt the point after, and it is good. So with 3:58 to go here, the host Orange Lions have bolted out on top by a score of 7-6. And Howard Perlmutter. Boy, that was nice, huh?
Oh, textbook. It really was. Like I said, he showed good ability to run the ball on his own, but he also showed the presence of mind to follow the block. That's what blockers are for. And he picked up a couple at about the 35, 40-yard line. Found the seam, broke it, made a couple of nice moves into West Geauga territory, and just outran the defense. Exciting, too.
Boy, oh boy, and how.
What was that about? That was about 85 yards?
Yeah.
About 85 yards.
For the Lions, Young, 8 for the Wolverines.
Aria Ascari set the kickoff for the Lions, and again going back deep, you've got Young in the middle, Flesher on the left, and Gattosi on the right. Well, that excited the crowd below.
And as we touched on, both teams 2-6, but they played a little bit better than their records indicate, so this should be a good one tonight.
Taken by Young at the 25. He had a good run the last time, and this time he is manhandled, drops down. Nicely done by Lee Axe.
Good one-on-one tackle, special teams tackle. You know, another thing, I don't think we talk much about how important the special teams players are. Not so much returning, but the blocking that we saw to spring the orange, and also that nice one-on-one tackle there. A lot of times the kids don't get the credit that they deserve.
First down and 10. The ball is on the 37-yard line. Spencer remains in the ball game as a slot. And they're going to put it up. And they're looking for Spencer, and he can't hang on. Chad Garson on the coverage.
Craig, I think...
as well as Jason Merchant.
If Rick Grip may have looked downfield, he could have seen Mike Chambers. He had his man beat at about the orange 45. Chose to go with the short pattern, though.
So a second down and 10 awaits quarterback Rick Grip.
You can also see why Orange is such a respected defensive team. They have great pursuit of the ball. Always 2 or 3 men around the area of the ball.
They hand the ball to Flesher for a couple of yards, a couple of tough yards up the middle.
I'd also like to jump back to that punt return real quick. I apologize. I wish I could have pointed out a few of the blockers, because it really was just such a super job of blocking. But I got all wrapped up in the return itself. I didn't look at the blockers' numbers, but they did a great job, and they know who they are.
Steve Spira, number 66 on the tackle for Orange. And we've got a third down and 6 coming up. Flesher and Gattosi in the backfield, and again they run Spencer as a slot. And it's Flesher, and he slips and falls and goes down behind the line of scrimmage. Finally covered by Amar Adam, number 32. And the defense has held once again for Orange, and with 2:23 and counting, the Lions will get the ball back.
Nice kick.
The kick is a good one. It's going to taken on the far side.
That was nice coverage by the Wolverines. Normally, when you get a low punt like you had there, it gives the returner more time to break it open, but West G covered that one well.
Fiari was the man who returned that one.
Take another look at it. You see, he had a good 5-6 yards to get himself started, but the Wolverines hustled down, did a nice job.
Chambers was the first man there for the Wolverines. A first down and 10 now for the Orange Lions. Riesland to throw. Looking down, he's got Blum.
Got a flag thrown.
And he's across the 30, and he scampers out of bounds and over the bleachers and onto the track.
The flag was thrown where it may have been, it may be offensive holding. It's in that area. And some of the coaches on the Orange sideline not happy. They think it may have been a late hit.
Let's watch it again, see where he is.
Whoa!
Coming right at you. Scotty Polachek sticking his nose right in there.
Nice job, Scotty.
Well, let's see what they're going to do with the flag. Holding is the call against the Lions, and a lot of times when you see that much time given to a quarterback.
Second down and about 5 right here, or it'd be 1st and 20 for the play. Thank you.
All right, so 1st and 20. You hear Greg Suchiak tell the official that's what we're going to do. We're going to take the penalty. Minute 43 to go, and Orange will be backed up all the way back to their 15-yard line or so.
Craig, you know, a lot of times also, and the viewers may not be aware of this, but when a quarterback scrambles, it kind of causes a little bit of havoc for the blockers, because all of a sudden they're not doing your standard pass blocking scheme, and it kind of messes things up for them, and you tend to kind of have to pick and choose as they go along.
Got to be very careful of not getting called for downfield either.
Right.
Illegal man downfield.
Right. Which is very easy to do when you don't know where the quarterback is at.
First down at 25. And across the line of scrimmage is Fiari. Todd Hockman leading the way for Orange. Well, 3 guys just ran onto the field for Orange. I haven't seen anybody leave yet. Aria Ascari leaves the ball game.
Take a look at the Orange sideline. One of the ball players can't make out his number. Looks like he's just having a little bit of an equipment problem.
Second down and 18 for the Lions. Riesland to throw. Being chased again, slipping and falling as the defense, and he's heading for out of bounds. And out of bounds he goes at the 33-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and less than 10 to go. So got the penalty yardage back, but it took him 2 plays to do so.
The Wolverines showing some good defense downfield, good pass coverage downfield. As you take a look at it, they're also getting a good rush on Riesland.
Here he comes right at our cameraman.
And Scotty just stands in there.
I tell you what, watching Lance Riesland play last year, he has gotten big. I mean, big isn't tall. He's filled out a little bit. He's going to be a monster next year.
Well, it probably helps to have his father, the coach, pounding him, encouraging him, I should say.
3rd down and a long 8 to go for Orange. And Riesland going to keep it. Looking downfield, and he is going to be sacked. Big number 71, Mean Joe Green on the sack. That'll take the ball all the way back to the 25-yard line with 39 seconds to go. Orange will be giving the football back up to West Geauga.
Riesland looked as though he had a little bit more time to throw as we get another look at it. With this angle, you might not be able to see it, but the receivers were well covered downfield again. And Riesland just had nowhere to go with this.
Franchino to kick, and a nice high spiral is going to be taken by Chambers right at midfield. Breaking some tackles, coming to the near side, and dragged out of bounds at about the 43-yard line. And there's 11 ticks of the clock left in the 1st quarter. And they'll have time for 1 play.
Excuse me, Craig. Mike Chambers, number 89 with that return. He's a big kid, listed at 6'2", 185. I would venture to say he may be just a little bit bigger than that.
So Rick Grip will bring the troops up to the line of scrimmage with 11 seconds to go here. And you see busting out of the huddle Scott Callbearer, the center. And again, they go with Gattosi and Flesher in the backfield. And it is Brian Spencer, I believe.
Scott Sternmeyer getting in there again, putting his little body on the line.
And that'll do it for this first quarter here at Orange. The score, the Orange Lions 7, the West Geauga Wolverines 6, and we'll be back.
Hi, I'm Safety Pup, the National Child Safety Council, and I have a few Halloween tips. Listen! Wear a light-colored costume short enough so you won't trip. Never enter a stranger's house, even if you're invited. Never eat anything until you're home and your parents have checked your treats. And make sure you have a flashlight. So remember these tips for a happy and safe Halloween. Whee!
So second down and 12. Across the middle they go, and it's complete to number 83, Scott Curtis. So that'll bring up a third down, and Scott, West Geauga really offensively, after the first drive, didn't do a whole lot offensively, but Orange didn't have anything to show for it except for the special teams.
Came away with 7 points, leading 7-6 after the first quarter, but they do not have a first down. So kind of a defensive struggle thus far, keeping it between the 20s, other than, as you mentioned, the special teams punt return.
Third down and 4 face the Wolverines. The ball is on the 37-yard line. Spencer goes in motion. We had some movement, but nobody jumped off sides as they hand the ball to Gattosi, and pushing his way close to a first down, but it looks like they're going to spot the ball right on the 35-yard line. That'll be about a yard and a half shy. But I think we're in 4-down territory now. I don't think we'll see anybody kicking the football. What do you think?
I'm not going to say. I think you're right. Now, I think that is it's a logical thing right now, especially with the field conditions. It's not like Orange is all of a sudden going to light it up. So it's probably a pretty safe call to make right now.
Matt Fife checks into the ball game, brings the play into Rick Grip. A fourth down and a long one. Chambers goes to the top of your screen.
See if they run that counter they've been successful with.
They run it right up the middle to Gattosi, and he's breaking some tackles down to the 25-yard line. So the fourth first down of the night for West Geauga, and a big first down it is, as it definitely puts him in, or definitely getting him closer to field goal range.
As you alluded to, it's a safe play to call right there, especially when you're down 7-6. So
Kevin Young now into the ball game as a slot. They run the option. They pitch it back to Spencer. He corrals it, and he's dropped at the 21-yard line. Tripped up by Andre Hatcher, number 21 on the far side. Give him about a gain of 5.
Grip did a nice job there. Rolling to his right, he waited. He had the defense commit to him. Gave it the quick pitch. Picked up a good 4 yards on the carry.
So a second down and 6 for the Wolverines. The ball now on the 21-yard line of Orange. See if the Orange defense can rise to the occasion here. Bend but not break. And they're going to look across the middle. And in and out of the hands of Young, and almost intercepted.
There's Sternheimer.
Sternheimer was there. Todd Hockman was also there. And Kevin Young almost with a nice catch, and it looked like Scott Curtis might have been open on the far side, streaking for the corner. Third down and 6. And we've got an official's timeout on the field.
We've got the time, Craig. I'd like to remind everybody about the 3rd annual Richmond Heights High School Alumni Association Sports Hall of Fame dinner and induction ceremonies. And I'll give you the rest of the information after we run this play here.
Under 9.5 to go. Third down and 6 is the call for West Geauga. And Grip looking in the corner. He's got a man. Touchdown. No, they say he dropped the ball. Couldn't hang on to it. Was Mike Chambers, number 89. See if we got a replay of that. You see all sorts of Lions on the coverage, including Amar Adam. Watch it again.
This was a great pass by Grip. Looked like it was right in Chambers' hands. Must have just slipped through.
Couldn't come up with it. Andre Hatcher, the man on coverage. That brings up a 4th down, and the field goal unit is on. John Roden to attempt a 37-yard attempt. 9:22 to go.
Roden in to attempt
It's off to the far right-hand hash mark, and there's no wind to be found down on the field, and a pretty decent snap. He's low line drive, kick hits the crossbar, and it's good. Talk about low and a line drive, like kicking a brick on a night like tonight. And the score becomes 9-7 with 9:18 to go here in the first half. So the lead has gone back and forth. A couple of minutes into this one, actually a little over 3 minutes in, we had a 40-yard run by West Geauga. And then a punt with 3:58 to go in the first quarter. Perlmutter, and now the 38-yard field goal.
Keeping an eye on that, on the special teams here, the field goal. It was a good solid snap, good hands by the holder, put it down in a nice solid placement, and the kick was a little bit low, as we saw, skipped across.
And they bring in the other soccer player to do the kickoff honors, Mark Bouclier, number 14.
As you also mentioned early, when West Geauga missed their original extra point on their first touchdown, we'll see what how much of effect that has now that they only have that 2-point lead. We'll have to see how much of an effect that does have later in the ball game.
And the kick is a short one. Can be taken by one of the up men at the 25. Across the 35 and close to the 40-yard line is Matt Herman. And Orange has the ball in good shape.
I'll give you that the rest of the information on the Richmond Heights Sports Hall of Fame dinner and induction ceremonies. It'll be Friday, November 16th at 7 p.m. at the Kiwanis Lodge in Richmond Heights. For ticket information, call 692-8489. 692-8489 for more information on that.
Saw a shot of Jock Shirk down below having some eye problems, sitting on the bench.
Coach Hughes was telling us a little bit about the problems they had with that last week when you get this lot of mud and you get the mud up in the face. The kids with the mud all over their hands and their gloves and that, they can't try to help themselves in the ice because a lot of the kids with the contacts, he said that the girls had to spray water in their faces, so he may be having the same trouble tonight.
Yeah, that had to be nasty. I'll tell you what, these field conditions here are like playing on a Super Bowl field compared to what we had last week and what everybody appeared to have last week. I mean, you can see they're having some problems with the football down below, trying to get it all cleaned up before Lance Reisland brings the troops back up to the line of scrimmage. So it's 8:54 to go here in the first half, and West Geauga leads it by a score of 9-7.
I think Orange needs to put together some sort of drive here to try to get started. They do have 7 points, but they really haven't shown the propensity to be able to move the ball this far.
Fiari in the backfield along with Aria Ascari, and whistles blow.
Pushing and shoving.
And we've got a flag, and I think they're going to whistle orange.
Get out of my way.
I really think they're going to whistle orange on this one.
Sit down.
Chris Mapes had Ascari and then flung him to the ground.
28, come here.
He may have carried that just a little bit too far. The whistle is blown, and he still wrestled him to the ground.
Just a minute. I'm talking to you. Okay, he may have done that, but what we saw was two guys. I want to talk to the coach. I want to talk to the coach. Get out of here. Okay, remember talking about before the game? Okay, now he may be right. Okay, you may be right. Okay, but from our angle, we saw him just tussling and churning. Okay, but then the last thing is not the turn. He pushed him. Okay, and we will not stand for it. No. I called 15-yard penalty. Okay, and he had to take him out for play. Okay, now will you do that for me?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you a question now. Would you please catch the first one though, because that's a real critical penalty this time of the game. Because he threw him down after.
I have the preliminary signal is unsportsmanlike on the black team. It's a 15-yard penalty.
Tell you what's to take there if you're orange is the fact that everybody in the ballpark saw them get twisted around, and long after the whistle blew, and even the official admitted the fact that that may have happened, and we did see it, but your guy pushed them. So there was the flag, and that's going to cost Orange 15 big ones.
And yet, I don't know about you, but I love to listen to the official, trying to be calm, trying to be, you know, with Coach Reisland, and Coach is trying to take it all in. But as you said, he can't be real pleased with it, especially when
he's not real pleased with Ari Ascari. As tough as that gets, you got to bite your tongue, and you got to just be in control.
you've got to be able to show that self-control.
And that's, like I say, it's going to be a tough penalty for Orange to stomach. I don't know if we've got a shot of that last play or not. But you'll long after the whistle's blown.
And that is not what the Orange Lions have to do to try to sustain some sort of a drive, which I mentioned as they took control of the ball. But the Lions have to keep their head in the game.
And they do call unsportsmanlike against Orange.
They can't let that get to them. Knocks them back a big 15 yards.
Actually, knock them back 20. They call the illegal procedure call as well.
The original flag that was thrown, you're right.
Oof. The black team, it's still
Well, they're
first
sustaining
down.
a large drive, but they're going the wrong direction. So.
Well, we got a first down and 30. No too many first down and 30 plays in the old playbook.
If any.
Well, they run the single setback with Fiari. And flags fly again. And we may have the same call as Orange is coming a little unglued here.
We have a dead ball foul, encroachment on the defense.
Oh, okay.
5-yard penalty.
I take that back about
we start the clock.
About the unglued, as West Geauga trying to get off the ball in a hurry, guilty of encroachment. So now it is a first down and 25. Still not a whole lot of plays in the playbook.
I was going to say, well, what do you want me to say about that? But this is where it'll be interesting to see how Lance Reisland can try to lead the team back. Excuse me, Craig.
Ascari the up back, Fiari is the deep back, and they give it to Fiari, trying to find some running room.
Lost
Fumbled
the
the
ball.
football, and what do we got? Orange is going to get the ball back.
Well, we've seen a couple of miscues, a couple of drop balls, a couple of bobbled balls, but yet to have a turnover. Here's another look at it. Got a big hit there by number 71 for West Geauga. Joe Green made the initial hit, probably. What a great name. I didn't want to go on to too much, but
I believe it was the quarterback, Lance Reisland, that covered the football. 7:45 to go, first half. Second down, 25, so they don't lose anything on the last play except a down. And a fumble on the snap, and that's going to be still loose.
Available.
And West Geauga gets it. You could see the whistle blew, but the ball was still rolling around near us, and it's tough to see. I think it was number 45 for West G, Tim Lennon.
Yes, it was.
That covered the football. It kind of came squirting out, and if we got a shot of that, I'd like to see that one again. The whistle blew because of the pile, and all of a sudden this ball came squirting out again.
We had a great angle at that.
They were unable to get that last one, but 7:24 to go, and West Geauga gets the ball back, and with great field position.
It was Tim Lennon with the recovery. This is great field position for West Geauga here, just inside the 30-yard line with 7 minutes to go, and they've shown they can move the ball on the ground.
Spencer in motion, and that's who they hand the ball off to. Up the middle he goes, and he's hit by Jeff Bratton, among others, number 88.
It's a big series for both teams. West Geauga can give themselves some extra room, maybe move it out to about a 9-point advantage, and Orange has to rise to the occasion. They can't afford to get back, especially with the fact that they haven't been able to move the football. They really haven't. Without that punt return,
yeah, all kinds of problems.
I'm going to be real interested to see what kind of total offense they have offensively.
Second down, 8 yards to go. The ball is right on the, what is that, the 25-yard line? And we got movement on the line. All kinds of laundry being tossed around down there in the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Dead ball.
Procedure is the call, so we'll call it second down 13 when play resumes.
Second down.
That's
you get back to both of these teams the way they've played throughout the year, very un-Wolverine and Lion-like, but you have those kind of years when you get You look at Orange, he's got only 3 seniors on the whole offensive unit. You're playing with what could be considered a JV or JV caliber type offense. And it does run in cycles. And they've been, the positive part is they've been in every game. They throw it intended for Chambers and over his head, and a flag comes flying in from back Amar Adam. I think they're going to whistle for.
Well, Jason Merchant threw his arms in the air thinking like he was screaming, hey, I never touched him. Well, here's another look at it. It'll be at the top of your screen.
See if this looks like a catchable football. Wow. Matter of fact, that was, you were right, Scotty, that was Jason Merchant back there, and that's, wow.
Well, I'll tell you, Craig, it looked like it hit off of his fingertips.
Okay, pass interference on a defense was 15 yards.
But whether or not, the flag seemed a little bit late.
Can we see that again, Kerry?
Is defensive pass interference here.
I'm going to watch this again.
Now, the ball goes off his fingertips, but whether or not it seemed late or not. Some of the
first down and 10 now for West Geauga.
The coaches up here in the booth equally unimpressed with that call.
Got a view of the replay. First down and 10 from the 15. They run the option, and Rip's going to keep it to the 5. Flags fly. He's in for a touchdown. We got flags all over the place. And we're going to have to see.
Going back to that pass pattern, really debatable whether Chambers had a chance to catch that football or not.
You know, that's a judgment call, and you have to make it like right now. Let's see what we got.
This one back. Right. Preliminary signal is illegal use of the hands on White, and it's a 10-yard penalty.
Bring it back.
Watch it again. And there he goes into the end zone.
Here.
And those linemen from West Geauga did not want Orange to get a grip. So they held.
Yes. Sometimes you also wonder the way Grip made it in so easy, if that wasn't the reason why he got in so easy. Illegal use of the hands. What exactly did he do?
Didn't hear anybody hollering up here about that call.
No, he didn't.
See how that goes? I'm sure there's nobody on West Geauga complaining about the pass interference. Either up the middle they go to Gattosi, and flags are a-flying again. Oh, my.
Well, it's a good thing I didn't say what I wanted to a few minutes ago about how it's been a fairly well-played ball game with only...
Captain Black.
Starting to get ugly now.
Preliminary signal is holding.
Another hold.
On the offense.
Second down and about, oh, God knows. We're in another county, I think. We're back in Geauga County now. 25 is what they say. We let the PA announcer do all the addition.
And West G was all the way down to the 15, and now...
Yeah, they were.
Now they've letting a golden opportunity slip away after the turnover well in Orange territory.
That's the funny thing about this game, Scott. You know, and depending on which side of the stands you sit on, the officials' calls are either very good or they're very bad.
Craig, one thing about the officiating I want to ask you, what exactly is a preliminary call? Isn't it either a call
or
it
they
isn't?
make the preliminary signal to let you know what it is, and then they talk to the captains to see what they want to do. Then they give the official call. Grip the throw, gets it batted down. 64, Scott Ballantyne got his big mitts up there and drops it down, and we see an ambulance leaving. I wonder who that could be. Hopefully it's not any of the players.
Well, Craig, the reason I asked about the preliminary call, to me it always seems like, well, I guess we'll call it, it doesn't seem like he wants to make up his mind. Well, preliminary, I'll call it as this, but it could always change is the way it seems. Obviously not the case.
Second down, 29.
And the ambulance is coming back.
That's leaving. And they run the draw play and drag down from behind. Oh, goodness.
58.
Todd Hockman.
Nice job with one hand.
He had a hold of Gattosi by the shirt.
Just kind of pulled him down with him. A lot of these kids, remembering that they're just high school kids, but they got do a lot of working out during the season, during the off season. There's a lot of awfully strong kids down on that football field, and we just saw one of them.
The word on Jock Shirk is the eye has cleared and is available for action on a 3rd and 29. The pass is complete, and they run the hitch and pitch, and they've got Spencer to the 10 and down to the 3-yard line. Oh, check that, Kevin Young.
What a super call.
Little hitch and pitch.
With under 5 minutes to go, very imaginative. Let's take a look at it. He's going to find one receiver.
Boom. And down to about, check that, they spot him down now. I guess the knee came down early at about the 8-yard line.
I think he may have stepped out.
And West Geauga has taken a timeout with 4:33 to go. I'm looking on the far sideline, Scott, and I'm still looking for Matt Griselli. I hope that wasn't him they were taking away. I don't know. It's hard to see across the...
We'll try to find out during the half, see what happened, if that indeed was him. But getting back to that call,
well, maybe the fire department may have been going to Geppetto's Pizza and Ribs, the first place in Taste, 691-1000, and I'm sure when they're done there, they go over to
Warehouse Beverage right across the street, 382-2400 to wash down the pizza. I don't think they want to stick around and watch the ball game anymore.
That's where all the EMS guys hang out, probably, huh?
Getting back to that play real quick, Kevin Young, that was a...
We still can't escape Kramer, no matter where we...
That was a, for our viewers at home, obviously the pre-planned play, the way Kevin Young, that play has to definitely work to perfection. Good protection, complete the pass, and the pitch has to be perfectly timed, and it worked out really well for West G.
Well, it's a 4th down and 3 as Young stepped out of bounds on the far side. And they give the ball up the middle to Gattosi, and he's down to about the 1-yard line. Just short.
Gattosi, the ball carrier, takes it to about the 1.
So West Geauga knocking on the door. As it turns out, the penalty didn't really come back to haunt Orange because they got more than that back on penalty yardage themselves.
I was just going to say.
But then if they wouldn't have got the penalty and they would have got the other 25, then they'd been real big trouble. So you go all around about it. But if you're talking about penalty yardage on the drive.
And West G has probably moved about 50 yards, even though they picked the ball up at about the 25 to start this drive.
Gattosi again tries to crawl in. He's not going to get in. He's inches shy of a touchdown. 3:56 and counting here in the half. And coming up at halftime, we'll have the halftime stats as well as the marching bands, I believe.
That's what's interesting about this drive here. The fumble that West G recovered was basically your 20-25 yard line. They moved back a good 20 yards or so, and now they're right back down. So
it was 1st down and 30.
How does that count on total yards when I go to add that up?
I don't know. Better get to the official stats. 3.5 minutes to go. Again, they run Gattosi 29 and Flesher 21. Gattosi in the right side of the backfield. That's who they give it to, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. Nick Gattosi goes in from a yard out. And with 3:22 to go, the score now becomes 15-7. And this becomes a big extra point as well, Scott, because without this, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion by Orange, and we've got a tie ball game.
It's a shame, too, because Orange had their opportunity when they got West G to move it back a couple of times, get them back out of field goal range, and then they kind of let them move it back down on a nice hitch and pitch play.
Rick Grip to hold. John Roden drills the point right through with no problem. And with 3:22 to go, it is 16-7. The Wolverines lead the Lions here late in the first half. And imperative for Orange to get some sort of offense going here because it has been non-existent. You know, when you look back as we talk to people during the week, and you look back at what Orange has done and the fact that they haven't lost a ball game by more than a touchdown. And a team like Solon, very highly ranked in the state, they're down 6. They lose the game 6-0, but they've got the ball on the 1-foot line. With the penalty, moves them out of the touchdown zone, and they don't score, and they lose the ball game 6-0.
And we've talked about that all year, how much penalties come back to really haunt you. Fortunately for West Geauga there, they got a couple of them and moved back, but were able to regroup and still go down and come up with a score.
And both teams reported that this week at practice was a very good week for them. Going back deep is Schultz, 22, and going to be taken. But check that. That's DeMarlo Brown.
Tim Lennon on the tackle. Nice one-on-one tackle. I'm impressed week after week. I mean, you're always going to get tackles when you got 2 or 3 guys, but every week I've been able to point out these solo tackles, and it's a nice job. Here's get another look at it.
There's Brown.
And here's Lennon. Spun him around.
Well, a first down and 10 for Orange. They run twins to the near side. Here you can see them just in the bottom of your screen. Perlmutter and Blum. Reisland to throw, being chased, and down he goes again.
And the flag thrown about the 25 also. To see what that was a little bit away from the flow of the play.
Jason Simpson comes in out of nowhere.
Homer Simpson, what did you say?
And a big loss. And holding, and I'm sure that one will be declined because it's going to bring up. The ball's on the 15. It'd be about the 22nd and 25 coming up.
Illegal use of the hands on Black. Refuse.
Orange just having all kinds of trouble trying to get their offense started here. 2:45 to go in the half. They've got to do something. They definitely have to put some yardage together here because you don't want to give West Geauga the ball back with any sort of field position. They've shown they can move it down the field.
They pitch the ball back to the near side. That's Fiari to the 20 and down to the 22-yard line.
Ferrari, the ball carrier, knocked out of bounds by Spencer.
Now we get another look at it. Watch the good block right there. Didn't get the numbers at 27. Brian
Fiari.
I was just about to get that.
The PA announcer saying Ferrari. We were told Fiari, so
I'm just going to say Ferrari because that's what it looks like.
There's another fumble on a snap, and I think Lance Reisland covers it. 4th down and 18 coming up.
All kinds of trouble for the Orange Lions. They're still trying to decide who has that football. I don't think they've come up with it yet. We haven't seen any indication from the officials.
Now they're wiping it off right now. 4th down coming up. And I tell you, they're going to get the ball back with a little under 2 minutes probably.
I don't think I'd want to be the Orange Lions going into the locker room. They,
you know, and you look back over the years, Chuck Reisland 8-2, 8-2, 8-2, only his 2nd losing season in 21 years of coaching. It's got to be frustrating, but along the same lines, you're only going to miss 3 guys from this offensive unit that aren't going to be back next year.
And he mentioned, whoop, there's that snap I talked about before.
Flags are flying again.
And also, you know, Coach Horizon also told us that, you know, yeah, losing season this year, but like he pointed out, wait till next year.
Yep. And you're trying to build on that.
Sure, and all the kids.
Foul, encroachment on the defense.
That's a good call.
4th down.
Good call for Orange.
That'll get them out a little farther away from the end zone. But
watch the snap again. He snapped the last one over his head. We'll see. They can't afford that down here at all.
high snap is corralled nicely by Franchino.
Uh-oh.
Chambers is going to be knocked down. Brian Blum was there to cover him.
I think Chambers couldn't decide what he wanted to do with the ball. He started to rush it, then he got caught in between and tried to play Barry Larkin and short hop it and couldn't get away with it.
Minute and 24 and counting here in the first half. West Geauga has the ball on the 42-yard line.
Let's see if West G wants to try to open it up here.
Well, they hurried up to the line of scrimmage like they're not messing around. Flesher dropped by Hockman.
Another nice one-on-one tackle.
Oh, he's tough. I remember him from last year. Todd Hockman's been a mainstay here at Orange for the last few years and doing a nice job there, coming from his inside linebacker position. Second down and 15 coming up, and West Geauga may just say enough is enough here, run out this half as they lead it 16-7 with 50 seconds to go.
I was going to say, I don't think Coach Schutz is going to mind that too awful much. They're going to just keep it on the ground, go in with that 16-7 lead, just try to run out the last 40 seconds here.
And they're going to run the reverse.
Chambers, a lot of room. He's got a man in front of him.
It's across the 40.
Grip with a nice block.
And down close to the 50-yard line. And the tackle is going to be made by number 46 for Orange, Adam Lustig. 26 seconds to go, and West Geauga is going to take a timeout.
If we get another, whoop, here we go. We'll take a look at this. Give us a, send us a letter or a note. Let us know what you think about our casts, and send it to Cablevision Sports, 7 Circle, Cleveland Heights, Ohio, 44118. We'd like to hear from you. Give us an idea what you think we could maybe do better, because we really probably can't get any worse, at least up here in the booth. Here's another look at that return. You see Rick Grip downfield right there, making a nice block to give Mike Chambers a little bit of extra room. Picked up about an extra 5 yards after it as well. Don't always like to see your quarterback downfield blocking, but Rick didn't give you your classic body block. He kind of just ran the interference, but it all works the same.
Boy, the glasses are starting to fog up down there tonight, Scotty. It's going to be tough to see.
Well, if you can clear your eyes, go on over to Geppetto's. 4350 Mayfield Road. Give them a call at 691-1000 for your pizza and ribs. And if you need something to drink, go to Warehouse Beverage right next door. 382-2400. Al, Mike, and Paul will fix you up with something to drink.
26 seconds to go. It's a 3rd down and 3 for West Geauga. The ball is on their own 49-yard line. And they keep it on the ground, and they pitch it back to Flesher, trying to get to the outside. He's going to dash out of bounds, and he's nailed on the far side. Number 21 was there. Andre Hatcher laid a stick on Jerry Flesher. They're down to 18 seconds to go. They move the chains, and he's out of bounds at the 39-yard line. And that's a 1st down and 10 for the Wolverines. They're rushing up to the line of scrimmage, but the clock has stopped. The chains aren't even set yet. Now they are. They're going to put it up. Oh, and Grip got hit. Nailed. And Orange covers the ball. Chad Garson, I believe it was number 77, who just stuck it to Rick Grip.
What a big hit. Monster hit there. Almost the way he hits him hard. See if he's even touched.
That's Garson.
No, he's not.
Oh, man.
Not touched at all.
And the ball was covered there by Jeff Bratton. 12 seconds to go. They may run trips and go for it here, huh?
Wow.
On a night like tonight, that'll jar the old fillings, huh?
It'll warm them up if they're probably frozen by now.
We got all kinds of receivers checking into the ball game now for Orange.
Maybe they'll come up with the old Hail Mary. Years back, the Cowboys beat Minnesota in the playoff game, and Minnesota beat Cleveland not too many years ago with that Hail Mary. I believe it was Ahmad Rashad with that catch to beat the Browns up in Minnesota. That was when they still played outside before the Metrodome, so that's been at least about 5 years or so.
No, probably longer than that. We were wearing orange pants.
Right.
12 seconds to go here in the 1st half, and we'll do our best to bring you the bands here at halftime. The Wolverine Marching Band as well as the Lion Marching Band.
Speaking of orange pants, I was mentioning before the game how much I like the orange-black uniforms. I think they're very stylish.
1st down and 10. They're going deep to Perlmutter.
Oh.
And a flag comes flying down. Is that Tim Lennon on the coverage?
Number 45, yes, Tim Lennon. I don't know about this call here at all.
Now watch it again. Right at you.
I think that defensive pass interference.
I hate to question the officials, but I'm going to question them anyway.
And that is a 15-yarder as opposed to in the NFL where they take it from the spot. You see Andre Hatcher walking back, holding his right side of his forehead. That'll give Orange the ball on their 35-yard line with 7 seconds to go.
Down, incomplete pass.
You always question on a pass interference call if the ball was catchable or not. I do not believe that ball was catchable, to be honest.
I'm just wondering if they use that terminology here at the high school level. They may not. Reisland to throw. Got some time, but now he's being chased. Launches it. Got Blum. Off the fingertips of Brian Blum, and we have come to the end of the 1st half. 16-7, West Geauga leads Orange, and Orange is going to try to find some offense in the locker room, and West Geauga is going to find a way to hang on to the lead. And we'll be back, and we'll have halftime activities right after you watch this.
Until now, there was something missing from television. TV couldn't help you get any richer, any smarter, or healthier. You couldn't use TV to get ahead. TV just didn't do all that much for you. But that's changed. The Consumer News and Business Channel. Watch it. Use it. Only on cable.
We're at halftime, and we go down to the field to the West Geauga Wolverine Marching Band.
Once, there were a few proud men, men of adventure, men of courage, men who knew the meaning of honor. There still are, the Marines. We're looking for a few good men.
cholesterol and I had a heart attack. The connection is indisputable. Over 50% of Americans have a cholesterol that is too high, and high cholesterol kills. 500,000 Americans died of a heart attack last year. 60 will die in the next hour. Don't let it happen to you. If you reduce your cholesterol 25%, your risk of a heart attack is cut in half. Test your cholesterol, please. It could save your life. The killer may be stalking you.
(16-7) is the score here as we end halftime. We hope you enjoyed the halftime activities provided by both bands this evening, and we're getting set to find out what's happening here in the second half. I believe Orange will be getting the football to start the second half, and let's take a look at those stats. And oof is the call if you're a Lions fan, because 10 total yards.
That's the one that really sticks out. Zip for 3 passing, so of course no yardage there. And the Wolverines showing us what we talked about at the beginning. Predominantly a rushing ball club, 22 attempts, 98 yards. So that's, you know, obviously the bulk of their attack so far to come away with 16 points. And of course, Orange, they have no points on the board without that punt return.
Yeah, and how? So the stats really do tell the story of this one, and
they don't always do, but they're very indicative of what the game has been thus far.
Exactly. And there's a sports programming plaque we received as a Philo Award for this part of the state. Actually, this part of the country, I guess. Ohio and Indiana, and is that Michigan? And
Don't you know your geography?
Kentucky, and we won the Sports Programming Award.
I touched that award.
Well, that was before you got here, pal.
But
Don't be getting all cocky
I didn't say I had anything to do with it. I said I touched it.
You got to touch it. We thank the good people down there, and of course, thanks to our terrific staff here, we're able to garner such awards. All righty. West Geauga set to kick off to Orange. And Mark Bouclier should be the man, and back deep will be DeMarlo Brown. And they kick it right to Brown, and he takes it at the 20. Slips and falls at the 26, and that is where Orange will take over, and that has been the kind of night they've had so far.
One of the other statistics that sticks out, the Lions with only 1 first down, and that first down came on a penalty with less than a minute or 2 to go there in the half. So just not been able to generate any sort of offense at all thus far.
Lance Rise on the quarterback. And they run Brian Fiari and Aria Ascari in the backfield. And here we go again with the flags. And let's get while we get a chance, let's set the offensive line. We didn't get a chance to do that in the first half. You visually saw it, but you didn't get a chance to hear it. The wideouts are Jason Merchant, number 7, and Howard Perlmuter, number 17.
Illegal procedure on the center.
False snap. The tight end is Brian Blum, number 5. And then we move with Jock Shirk, number 55, at left tackle. Chad Garson, the left guard, number 77. Todd Hockman, the center, number 58. Scott Ballantyne is the right guard, number 64. And Thurman Powell is the right tackle, number 56. It's a first down and 15, and Orange starting where they left off in the first half, and that's going in the wrong direction. They come to the near side and in and out of the hands of Howard Perlmuter.
There's a good example of what we talked about before, about how the cold can affect your hands. As you see, Harold has no gloves on. That was a perfect pass right in his hands, but I think the ball is just a little bit too hard.
Scott D'Amusio on the coverage for West Geauga. Brings up a second down and 15 now. And before we move along, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Geppetto's Pizza and Ribs, the first place in taste, 691-1000, and Warehouse Beverage, 382-2400. Second down, 15 for the Lions. And another fumbled snap, and loose ball, and West Geauga's got it. Right at the 25-yard line, that ball skipped out. And I think we've got, yes we do, number 84 for West Geauga. Kevin Zabrowski comes up with the loose ball, and that a good 5 yards past the line of scrimmage. It may have been kicked by one of the linemen.
And just the way the first half ended, this is where West Geauga got it with about 5 minutes to go in the half, and they moved it down to get a touchdown. And with the statistics that we looked at, West G able to move the ball, and it's only 25 yards away.
They hand the ball to Jerry Flesher over the left side for a couple of yards, setting the offense again for West Geauga. We've got Grip, the quarterback, Flesher and Gattosi in the backfield, and as well as, I believe they're going with Brian Spencer to start the second half. We will see. Either we had Matt Griselli. We haven't seen Matt since the first half, and it is Spencer who runs the slot. Scott Curtis is the tight end on the near side, and Mike Chambers the wide out to the top of your screen, and they pitch it back. Nothing doing. There's Scott Sternheimer again as he trips up Nick Gattosi, and for a little guy, I tell you what, he can put people down.
He sure knows how to play that corner. He really knows how to come up and take that run. And for a little guy, he's taking those big boys on all by himself and bringing them down.
Bring up a, the scoreboard said second down. I think it's a third down, though, no? Third down and 12? No, I think it is second down. Who knows? I don't know what down it is.
You're confusing me.
I'm confused myself. And they hand the ball to Gattosi, and not a whole lot up the middle. Todd Hockman, number 58, on the tackle. They're showing what are they showing? Fourth down on the field, fourth down and 12.
Gattosi coming in tonight as the leading rusher for West Geauga with 116 attempts, 703 total yards. That's 6 yards a carry, which isn't bad.
Not at all.
And he has his longest carry of the year is 53 yards, and he's punched it over 3 times coming into tonight.
So it's a fourth down and 13 to go.
Larry Flesher, by the way, has a 79-yard run thus far this year.
Oh. And down he goes, and that's the same man, Chad Garson, who smoked him in the first half. And they're opening up a nice hole for him to come through, untouched to tackle Rick Grip. And watch it again, almost a carbon copy of what we saw in the first half.
And that's a great stand by Orange, giving the ball up at their own 25 and really putting the hammer.
Well, I tell you what, they gained 10 yards on that turnover. They got the ball now to 35.
But I think more importantly, they got a lot of it's got to do something for their morale to do such a great job of holding West Geauga when they very easily could have wilted right there.
Well, they just got another tackle just in time for Orange. They hand the ball to Fiari. And not a whole lot there for Brian as we come under the 8.5-minute mark. Gain of maybe 2 on the play.
What Orange needs to do now is build on that momentum that they just accumulated after that fine defensive stand. They've got to really not so much come away with some points on this drive, but they've got to be able to instill it in themselves that they can move the ball against West G and move it down the field some.
Ascari the up back, Fiari the deep back in the I formation. They pitch it back to Fiari coming near side, and he can't turn the corner. Tripped up originally by Scott DeMuzio and finally covered by Pat Quinlan, number 41, and they did a nice job of stringing that one out.
Yeah, I was just going to say, here's a good look at it. Quinlan shows good pursuit and follows it all the way down the line.
And DeMuzio, the man with the ankle tackle, third down and 8.
I've mentioned a couple of times about the fine one-on-one tackle. That was a good example of good team defense there.
It's a pretty interesting way that the Orange does the offense. Reisling goes to the sideline every play to get a verbal command from the coaching staff. A third down and 8. He's going to put it up, and he's going to slip and fall, and down he goes. And both teams doing a good job of going backwards here to start the third quarter.
And in defense of Lance Reisling, he really hasn't had the time to throw the ball. He's only attempted 3 in the first half, didn't complete any, but every time he's dropped back, he's had constant pressures. He had to scramble out a couple of times, so the Orange Lions have to do something up front to give Lance a chance to throw the ball if they're going to have any chance of coming back.
Joe Ferracchino into kick. Mike Chambers and Dave Schultz go back deep. A nice high kick going to be taken by Chambers at the 35. Tries to outrace Brian Blum and can't do so, and loses a yard back to the 34, and West Geauga gets the ball back again. And we've got flags down at about the 38-yard line. May have an eligible man downfield. We will see.
The Lions have to be able to come away with another good defensive stand like the one they had to open the half. Got a hold.
Holding against West Geauga. And we'll have to see if that was before the punt. If it was before the punt, well, we won't speculate any longer. They go pick the flag back up and move the chains. So let's watch it again.
See if we can catch it on the line.
It's a nice job here by Brian Blum.
Again, Craig, the Lions, they really want to hold West G if they can to 3 and out, no first down. Make West Geauga punt the ball away and get some half-decent field position to where they can get some sort of offensive continuity, try to move the ball down and get a score. They're only down 9 with a lot of time, but they haven't been able to sustain a drive yet.
First down and 10 on the 25-yard line of West G. They run that counter to Brian Spencer, who's across the 25 and close it in on the 30 for a nice gain on first down. Yeah, I know Chuck Reisland wasn't real happy with the neighborhood rivalry last week against Chagrin. Didn't feel that the boys played up to their potential. Had been pretty pleased thus far, even though the wins have not been there. And I think the same can be said of Coach Schutz for West Geauga. Just one of those seasons where you just can't get it done all the time.
Didn't
play
really
well enough to be in every game, but not well enough to put them away.
Didn't get a chance to talk to Coach Schutz at the beginning, but this is his first year here for West G. And when in your first year coach, you always have a lot more going up against you than somebody who's been around a while. So
Steve Spira dragged down Rick Grip as he tried to run the option.
West Geauga usually year in and year out has a good football team, and I think it's safe to say that in the years coming up that they're going to be back on top. They've got a fine program, and it always takes time with a new coach. So we'll have to watch and see what the Wolverines do in the future.
Well, Don Schutz was. He's been at West Geauga. This is his 7th year, I believe. He was on the staff before. Katozzi, the ball carrier, a couple yards shy of a first down. Tackled by Chad Garson. And that'll bring up a 4th down and another punting situation. So Orange is going to continue to pick up the yardage, but they're doing it with the special teams and defense. Offense is just floundering thus far.
Well, they've done a nice job here with the first 2 series of holding West Geauga. They should get pretty good field position out of this right here.
Perlmutter goes back deep. It's a spiral, angling for the sideline, and it goes past Perlmutter and will be down at the 32-yard line of Orange, and that's where the Lions will take over with another first down and 10.
Tough break if you're an Orange fan. It was a quick kick from West Geauga. He had to get that punt off quickly, and it wasn't a great kick, but it definitely took a West G bounce, and Orange may have lost maybe 10, 12 yards on the good roll.
Boy, aside from that first drive, the Orange defense has done fairly well, and you have to give, we keep talking about the Orange offense, but the West Geauga defense, the few times Reisland's gone back to throw, they've done a pretty good job of coverage downfield.
And put good pressure on Reisland as well.
And Lance is going to try to fire it up again. He's got a man, and it's complete to number 80 on the near side, Matt Hershey.
That was the best protection Reisland's got thus far tonight if we get another look.
I mean, if you look at this offensive unit, Brian Blum is a senior, Chad Garson is a senior, Hockman's a senior, and Ballantyne are seniors. Everybody else is coming back that starts. Reisland's only a junior, Ascari's a junior, Fiari is a sophomore, Justin Gross, another wideout, is a junior. Jason Merchant and Jason Merchant's a sophomore as well. 2nd down, 7. They come near side, and that is Fiari, and nothing doing.
I believe it was Pat Quinlan, number 41.
Yeah.
But you know something else, Craig, we haven't had a chance to see what Lance Reisland can do.
Yeah.
Again, the receivers, give West G defense credit. They've been covering the receivers well downfield. They've gotten good pressure on them. I'd like to see Lance with a little more time to throw, see what he could do with the ball.
Kevin Young also there for West Geauga. Loss of a couple on the play, 3rd down and 9. And this thing is flying by. We're down to the 3-minute mark already in the 3rd quarter. And Reisland to throw. He was looking and nothing doing. He's got to hang on to the ball and eat it again. He had Blum open for a split second. And what do we got there? Number 23, Scott DeMuzio was the first man to take care of Reisland. It looked like he was going to fire it up, but as he was going to, he had 3 men in his face.
Well, Craig, there's a good example of West G's downfield defense on the receivers, because Lance did have time to throw the ball, And as he went to throw it, I think he saw that the receiver was a little bit too covered up. Subsequently got himself sacked.
Joe Franchino to punt. Good snap. Franchino nice and high, but not real deep. DeMuzio going to take it at the 49-yard line, and that's for West Geauga. So we're playing between the 30s here in the second half. Down to 2.5 minutes already. Both teams keeping it on the ground, and Orange trying to get something in the air, but not giving Lance Riseland enough time to throw the football.
Maybe a little early to say this, but if West G can move it down and come away with some points.
Well, the way the Orange offense has been moving and the way the West G defense has been playing, it's not too totally out of left field.
12 points, you're going to need 2 touchdowns.
They give the ball to Gattosi for about 3 yards, and a flag comes flying in on the back of Scott Valentine, who may have been held on the play.
Is holding on the offense.
That's what it is. Scott Valentine got dragged down to the deck, and that is the 9th penalty against West Geauga. Orange has 6. That's a few flags.
We also haven't really talked much about, with West Geauga, predominantly the running offense that they are, chewing up a lot of the clock, and especially that's their ally. The clock is their ally now with, I mean, everybody knows that their running play is going to chew up more of that clock, so Orange has definitely got to stop them and start to move the ball now.
And they hand the ball to Gattosi again, and he maybe got back to the 45-yard line. So a second down will be coming up in probably about 15 yards to go.
West Geauga, in a strange kind of way, is trying to give Orange the opportunity, because with a lot of penalties, they're moving themselves back. They really haven't moved the ball here in the second half as well as they did in the first, but Orange just can't get the offense on track.
You saw Kevin Young come to the bottom of your screen. That's Mike Chambers at the top. Up the middle they go to Gattosi again, and Nick picks up a yard or 2. And we'll have a third down coming up. And the field, I tell you what, Scott, the field has stayed pretty soft, but it has stayed in very good shape considering what we have seen the last couple of weeks out. Well, we go back to that Maple Heights game against North. That was 2 or 3 weeks ago, and that's the last time I can remember decent weather. And I can't remember too many games before that where the weather was nice. Maybe the 2 or 3
the openers, obviously. The first 2 games, maybe.
The game at Cuyahoga Heights, but then we played that on a Thursday, and the Friday night after that it was miserable. They run the option, and Grip gets dragged down from behind. And that was 66 again, Steve Spira. And another 4th down, and this time the Orange Lions may lose some yardage on the possession.
I tell you, that penalty.
That's a good shot of what they're playing in out there on the field. A little bit of slop.
That penalty, or I'm sorry, the turnover, Orange giving it up on their own 25-yard line that West G took it in for that touchdown. If you can bring that back, you've got a 2-point difference here.
Perlmutter is dragged down by Scott DeMuzio.
And Perlmutter has, excuse me, Craig, accounted for all of Orange's offense, and technically it's special teams. So,
yeah.
But again, take that touchdown away that West G capitalized on the turnover by Orange, and you've got a 9-7 ball game here.
We should try to keep track of some of these stats here. Maybe get you some final stats at the end to see what kind of offense Orange. They only had 10 yards in the first half. I don't think they've got much here.
Nothing positive, at least.
Riseland hands the ball off to Fiari across the left side, and he's close to the 30-yard line. And we have come to the end of the third quarter already. The score is the same as it was after the half. West Geauga leads it by a score of 16-7, and we'll be back with the second quarter after this.
Cleveland, the comeback city. A city on the move, and we're working to keep it that way. We're the Greater Cleveland Growth Association, your Chamber of Commerce, and we're in business to make Greater Cleveland great. A vital place to live. A productive place to work. An exciting place to play. We help attract investment and secure government funding to improve the Greater Cleveland area. We encourage and support small business development and help retrain the workforce to keep Greater Cleveland competitive. And we develop ways for government and business to work together. At the Greater Cleveland Growth Association, our goal is to keep this city on the grow. Because when it comes to Cleveland, we mean business.
Chug along to the fourth quarter, 16-7. West Geauga leads Orange, and Orange has the ball. It's a 2nd down and 7. And they run the reverse. And a fumble. Going to be covered by West Geauga at the 30-yard line. Daryl Shorteridge couldn't hang on to the football, just coughed it up.
I think West G's going to keep it. I think that was a hold on Orange as he came around on that end.
Watch it again.
Let's see if we can catch the hold at the bottom of screen number 5 right there. I think he pulled him down. That could be the call, and that is what it is.
And interested to see who, couldn't see who made that hit. It may have been Pat Quinlan, number 41, the right inside linebacker. I think he may have been the man who caused that fumble. And with 11:43 to go, they've given the ball back to West Geauga, and the Wolverines got to be feeling pretty good. They've got the ball on the 31-yard line. They've been chewing up all kinds of time on the clock, and as Scott said, oh, Todd Hockman going to drive Brian Spencer to the turf. But they've got some kicking legs on West Geauga. A field goal would make it 19-7 and force Orange for 2 scores.
You know, Craig, if Orange plays this defense in the first half, you may have a completely, you may be tied. I mean, it's
could be 7-zip.
It could be what scores you're going to take away, but their defense has been outstanding here in the second half.
They hand the ball to Gattosi once again.
There's
and a flag's a-flying.
I think that might be unsportsmanlike conduct again.
The officials certainly are not taking any guff down there, and after they call it the first time, if you're a player, you got to be smart enough not to be shoving people around after that. You know they're going to call it tight.
Especially when you're behind, especially when the opposition has the ball.
And unsportsmanlike again on Orange. Scott Sternheimer was the man who made that last tackle.
And that's just going to add more yardage to West G.
Oh,
and that's just,
man.
as I say every week, shooting themselves in the foot. You can't do that when you're behind, and especially at this end of the field.
Todd Hockman down there trying to plead the case of Orange.
Now the Orange coaching staff not happy with the first one.
This could get good.
One play. Take him out for one play. You want timeout? You want timeout?
And they're going to take Scott Valentine out of the game. He may have been the offender on the last one. I don't know for sure. But he's the man that came off the field. And you heard the official ask to have the player taken off the field for one play, and the coaching staff down below is not happy. I don't know if they're not happy with the officials or not happy about making a mental mistake like that.
I think that's
again,
an understatement.
Once it's been called, you have to, it's just like a baseball umpire. If the strike zone is up around your eyes, as long as it's there all day, you don't have a gripe. And a fumble, and Orange is going to get it back.
No, they called him down.
No.
They're calling him down.
They are going nuts up here, and they're going to give the ball to West Geauga.
See if Kerry can give us that one again.
Oh, my. Let's watch this again.
Boy, it looked like he took it right out of his hands before his knee ever touched. No. I think that's a fumble there. Coach Chuck Reisman.
And they're going to give another unsportsmanlike to the bench of Orange as the referee turned and fired a flag.
I asked you, Coach. I need your help.
Okay, I am.
Okay? Now, some of the calls you may dislike. Okay, all right?
Did he cut his mic on us?
Yeah, well, we're going to let them discuss this in the privacy of their own 35-yard line.
No, I want to be in there. I want to hear it.
I can understand the frustration of Orange, but there's not a whole lot you can do about it.
No, I'm not saying it wasn't a forward pass. He's saying the forward practice is stop.
Okay.
That's what he said.
Okay, the guy hit the guy.
I think a lot of it on Coach Rison's part is a lot of it's got to be frustration.
I'll
as
tell you
well,
what,
obviously.
not that he cares, but I'm proud of John because I think if things were going this way against me, I mean, whether it's, you know, my own team's fault or I'd be going out of my mind. Watch this, hear the call. Unsportsmanlike again, and we have set a record for unsportsmanlike conduct tonight. I don't think we've seen but maybe one in a ball game, and that was a late hit or something goofy like that. This is getting out of control. Absolutely out of control. Got to have, I mean, I don't know what's being said or what's being done, but you got to have a little bit of thick skin. As long as they're not attacking your character or your family.
You can't make the complete comparison, but again, with Roger Clemens and the you know, it just seems though it might be just a tad quick. The officials are supposed to be able to take control of this game a little bit better.
Well, it's a 2nd down and 3. Grip to throw across the middle and nothing doing. Pass was intended for Mike Chambers, number 89. And that brings up a 3rd down and 3. We're down to about the 10-minute mark to go here in the ball game.
You know, Craig, getting back to that, it's the officials have to have a little more self-control themselves because they are the ones who are supposed to be in control of the ball game. And if you're going to let an official or a coach or a player show some sort of a negative emotion and you're going to penalize him for that automatically, well, you sometimes have to question that.
3rd down and 3. Up the middle they go to Gattosi, close to the 10-yard line, and here comes another flag. Well, that's why they're down there, Scotty, doing what they're doing, and what can you say? You can just make the observations.
Well, you know, I'm not trying to say
I think we've got a
wrong.
hold against West Geauga.
Okay, Captain, white team, you say? Preliminary signal is holding on the white. What number was that? 52.
As I was saying,
Right,
Craig, I'm not trying to so much question the officials or say what they're doing is wrong or they're making bad calls, but I think sometimes that you have to wonder if they can't. It's even hard to explain, just that sometimes if they're going to jump a little bit too fast, you just have to question it sometimes.
Well, there's some other big games going on tonight in the CVC. Chardon's at Twinsburg and Wycliffe is at Kenston. Now, Wycliffe is 5-0 in the conference. Twinsburg is 4-1 as well as Chardon. So a big one at Twinsburg and Chardon. If Twinsburg comes out of that a winner, showdown next week at Wycliffe as Twinsburg takes on Wycliffe for the CVC title. They hand the ball to Flesher over the left side, and that'll bring up a 4th down. Now, Chardon, if they would beat Twinsburg this week, they play at home against Orange next week. And then if they can knock off Twinsburg, then they become very big Twinsburg fans next week.
Twinsburg only one game out there behind Wycliffe. Wycliffe 5-0 in the conference. Twinsburg just one behind at 4-1.
Over in the GCC, you've got Menor 5-0 and Euclid 4-1. Menor's playing Mayfield at home tonight, and Bedford is at Euclid. Next week, a big showdown between Euclid and Menor. And here comes the field goal try. Plenty of distance, and it is good. So John Roden drills the field goal to make it 19-7, and forcing Orange to put the ball in the end zone twice. And getting back to the schedule again, if Menor and Euclid both come out on top this evening, it'll be 6-0 Menor next week against Euclid that's 5-1. And as it seems to do every year, Scott, comes down to that last ball game of the year when those two teams meet. And that is the
Euclid always
matchup.
seems to be involved too.
Yeah. And that is the matchup that the GCC is using. What they have done now is in the last week of the season, they've had all the rivalries going. Mayfield plays Brush. You've got Euclid playing Menor. Bedford plays Maple. And North plays South. And in the LEL, Shaw is on top of the LEL 4-0. Lakewood and Cleveland Heights at 3-1. Heights plays tomorrow at Valley Forge. And Shaw plays 0-8 Shaker tomorrow. And then tonight, Lakewood is over at Parma. So still a lot of possibilities down the road for some of the clubs in the area.
Best time of the year. You like the openers, and you also like the last couple where there's so much at stake. Always have the conference championships always coming down to the wire.
Bouclair kicks off, going to be taken by Fiari. And he tries to go up the middle. He's got some room, and he's across the 40-yard line. And Orange will get the ball back.
Craig, getting back to the schedule there, you're talking about not too often do you really come up with somebody who runs away with the conferences anymore. Always, you know, you like to use the word parity. Always seems to be coming down to the last few weeks of the season before we can decide who's going to win them.
First down and 10. Orange may be winging it here. Riesland has to hold on. He's being chased and being sacked, and flags come a-flying again. And what do we got?
Okay, from this spot here. Got a face mask.
That face mask against West Geauga, and that flag came from about 20 yards downfield.
From this line here. What?
I think Lance Riesland may have missed his receiver after he pumped.
I'll tell you what it was, though, too, with you talking about Andre Hatcher or Brian Blum?
I didn't catch the number. I just
Blum.
happened to see him across the way, yeah.
Blum never looked. Riesland was hanging onto the ball, and Blum was trying to run his route. He never looked back over his shoulder, or Lance may have gotten him the football. Well, at any rate, it's a 1st down and 2. Fiari up the middle for a 1st down, and only the 2nd 1st down of the night for Orange.
That's the first one they've earned on their own. The first one they had was on a penalty.
Partially on their own. So a 1st down and 10. They've got the ball now at the 44-yard line of West Geauga. The clock is definitely against the Lions as they're down to 8:08 to go. And before we go any further, I'd like to thank both coaches for all their cooperation this week. Interrupted the World Series to talk to me Wednesday night, which was very nice. And here comes West Geauga with a blitz and an incomplete pass intended on the far side for Sean Springs.
Brian Blum opened on that series, on that play as well. I think if they should try to go back to what Lance Riesland missed on the play before that, a pump fake. The defensive backs for West G bit on both of those and left them open. Maybe if he could try one of those with some sort of a deep sort of pass pattern, they may be able to come away with the score.
Got a helmet damage for Orange. And checking back into the ball game now is number 37, Matt Herman. $7:55 to go in this one. They won twins to the top of your screen, Blum and Perlmutter. And they hand the ball up the middle to Ascari. And he blasts forward for 4 or 5 yards, and that'll bring up another 3rd down.
Orange finally starting to look like they can move the football. The only problem with that is they waited 3 quarters too long. Especially since the bulk of it has been running the ball. And as we've mentioned already, really doesn't matter how you move it, but when you run it on the ground, you're going to be eating up a lot of that clock at the same time. Can't afford that down 12.
That's the nice thing about having a running game. When you can get the lead, you can eat up a lot of that valuable time. 3rd down and 5 to go for Orange, and a big play here. Riesland being chased, and down he goes again, taking a swat at him. Mike Weerung, number 53, as Riesland slipped and fell. Well, these are the kind of days you wish you could get those spikes that are about 3 inches long to give you a little bit better traction.
Kevin Young with good defense downfield.
Brian Blum was running down the field and took a tumble about 5 yards down, lost his footing in the mud. So 6:44 to go, and Orange to kick it away, Joe Franchino. Young goes back deep, as well as Dave Schultz. And flags again.
I think that's going to go against Orange. I thought I saw the right guard move a little bit there.
7. All set.
I think you're right.
Dead ball.
Offsides is the call against Orange. They'll take that penalty, march them back, and make it a 4th down and 6:35 to go. The clock is running once again, and definitely in West Geauga's favor.
That's the 8th penalty against Orange, while West Geauga 11 penalties.
And a nice high kick by Ferricino, and West Geauga is going to get out of the way. And Orange will down the ball at the 22-yard line. And that's where the Wolverines will take over again. And the way they move the football, if they can pick up a couple 1st downs, this one may be history.
West G hasn't picked up a 1st down here in the 2nd half. They had 8 going into the halfway point, and they have yet to pick one up here in the second half. So that's testament to the Orange defense. We've talked about they've done a nice job here second half.
And again, you try to find some positives in a season that is not going as well as you would like as they hand the ball to Spencer, and he's got a lot of running room out wide.
Nice block.
Close to a first down.
So that's 79 Shannon Black, I believe, leading the way. Nice block out wide.
Jeff Bratton, the defensive end, got all the way downfield to knock down Spencer.
You see Black with pulling out, making a nice block, getting up in that, giving the running back an additional 5 yards. That's what, like you said, talking about positives to look for. Obviously, West G with plenty of positives with the win, but you still like to see those linemen getting out front and doing the job.
Second down, less than a yard for the Wolverines. Spencer goes in motion. Gatozzi got the first down close to the 40-yard line, or checked at the 35-yard line. And that'll be a first down, and the clock continues to run. Well, it will as soon as they move the sticks.
The way West G's moving the ball, if they can pick up maybe one, maybe two more first downs, that'll pretty much run the clock out. So Orange looking for a little less than a miracle to come away with the win tonight.
Well, for these seniors, their last night on the football field here at Orange High School. And you like to go out if you're the home team a little better than this, but as you said, Scotty, both defenses have played so well.
They've really picked it up in the second half.
Big hole up the middle, and another 9 yards on the carry for Jerry Flesher.
Well, you know, Craig, that's really not surprising because both teams have always been known for their good defense, and they've shown it this year. The records may not indicate that, but they're still tough-nosed football teams on defense.
Yeah, and like we said, both teams have been in just about every game they've played, and that, I think, is the frustrating part. You hope you can eke out one or two or three of those close ones, and when you keep coming up short, it gets very frustrating. That's nice to see how spirited the play has been tonight.
And a lot of that comes with youth. And it's also what we alluded to at the top, when it doesn't matter what your record is. These kids don't think about what their record is coming out tonight. They just go out and play hard.
Jerry Flesher again for the first down. Adam Lustig is the man who got the tackle. There's Mr. Perlmutter, who had a nice 85-yard or so punt return for a touchdown way back in the first quarter.
Charged a lot of excitement into the crowd here with that one.
I missed the beginning of that shot. Kerry said he has his name carved into the back of his hair.
Oh, that's going to be Scotty next.
Up the middle they go to Gatozzi for about 5 yards, and you can see the ball possession of West Geauga here as the clock is coming down toward 3 minutes to go, and this one is just about done unless something crazy happens, which I just can't see it at this point.
Not 12 points worth. But as you mentioned, you know, it's great to have a running game, especially when you get that lead, because it makes it so much easier to just run out that clock, chew up the yardage.
Second down and 5. Griff going to keep the football, and he's got the first down as he crosses the 35, close to the 34-yard line, I think.
I tell you, if Griff maybe could have paid a little bit more attention, I know once you get out there, you see a lot of open pasture for yourself. He had Larry Flesher. He still could have pitched that ball out, and Flesher had an awful lot of running room. You don't see it so much here in high school as you do in college, where a quarterback will take it 10 yards downfield and still give it up to his back because the back still trails. He had Flesher. He may have been able to pick up an extra 10 yards.
Scott Sternheimer and Jason Merchant on the last tackle. 2:25 to go in the ballgame. Spencer goes in motion.
Don't do it this time.
And Griff is dragged down after a loss of 4 or 5 as we come up on the 2-minute mark.
You know, it's something, getting back to the play, it's something that you like to, you know, obviously be very successful. But at this point, that's really not important, because the most important thing was that Griff got up with the first down. And of course, that's right now is all you're really looking for.
Todd Hockman comes off the field for Orange, and what a player he is, huh?
There have been a lot of great individual performances tonight, both sides of the ball. West G's just able to do a little bit more as a team, being able to move the ball on offense.
Up the middle they go to Flesher. Got the first down. He closes in on the 30-yard line. And that is the 11th first down and only the 3rd this half.
Flesher, nice individual run, breaking across the line of scrimmage and hurdling a defender. As you mentioned, picked up the first down. We're down to a minute and a half to go in the 4th quarter.
So West Geauga will move to 3-6 on the season, 2-4 in the CVC. Orange will drop to 2-7 and 1-5 in the GCC. But again, that's keep an eye on Orange next season, folks, because they got some skilled people coming back.
I think you're going to keep an eye on both teams.
Yeah, for that matter.
Well, you know, Coach Horizon told us at the beginning of the game, and I like the way he told us. It wasn't like he was bitter or anything. He realizes the situation he was in with a bunch of youngsters, especially, I believe it was 9 underclassmen on the offense,
yeah.
9 out of 12, and he knows what he's got coming back. So I think that kind of soothes the disappointment he may have thus far this season.
41 seconds to go. It's a 2nd down and 4 for the Wolverines. They try to run out the clock, and they hand it to Spencer over the right side. He's down close to the 20-yard line, maybe another first down, and here we go again with the flag. And just losing our composure down on the field. And this is not the time for this. It's been a hard-fought game.
Let's get the ball spotted here. It's 3rd down. 3rd down. All right, give me the 3rd down. 3rd down. Okay, now what do we have now?
Disqualification number 66 flag.
Okay, is he out there? Right,
no, they have tossed Steve Spira from the ball game, number 66.
We have a dead ball on sportsmanlike on the defense. Now, do you want... Not yet. Let me finish this penalty. What yard line are we on? We're on the
I think Orange wants to take a timeout here because I'm sure the coaching staff is going to tell them, let's not do anything goofy here at the end of this ball game to jeopardize possibly next week. And got to be good sports. The frustration may be setting in after a long season like this, but you don't want to blow your cool in a game that you've got no control over now with 29 seconds to go. I think that's exactly what's going to happen as Orange has taken the timeout. 19-7, West Geauga leads it, and we will have Don Schutz in the coach's corner.
They kicked Steve out from the game. I'd hate to see Steve, seeing the way he's pacing the sidelines down there. What happens if he doesn't get a good grade on the test? Does he throw a desk around? He's a pretty big kid down there.
Yeah, he is. Well, again, it's the culmination of a lot of things.
Sure. Being on the short end of a 19-7 score, not being able to generate any offense, having a lot of things. A lot of the penalties seem to be going their way. I think it sets in. I think it set in with most of the kids. Obviously, it just Steve couldn't handle it as well as some of the other ones.
So 19-7 is the score, and I think everybody's been settled down here. Again, it's really the fouls that we have seen have not been anything that you would, there's been no brawling or anything like that. It's been a little pushing and shoving, and just a lot of unsportsmanlike calls tonight, more than I have ever seen in a ball game. And they'll go into the victory formation.
And Craig, I should point out, I'm not laughing at Steve for what he's doing, because you got to give the kid, you still got to give him credit for. I mean, he's fired up. You see that he's in the game, he's all worked up about it. And that's nothing to laugh at. I just said that, pointed out how he really gets himself involved in the ballgame there.
Now, we may not see another play here. 2nd down and 10. We're down to 6 on the clock. And that is going to do it. And you see the good fellowship out in the center of the field there as both teams are shaking hands, and it's sure mending some wounds, some ill feeling that may have been out there. But when the game's over, the game's over.
Well,
and there's no sense carrying it after that.
I think a lot of the guys know that as well. They know that it's just all in the heat of the battle. The coaches know it, the kids know it. So it's not something that is going to be personal.
Well, the final score here, West Geauga 19 and Orange 7. We'll be back. We'll try to corral Coach Don Schutz and have him in the coach's corner right after you watch this.
The Cleveland
Cleveland Red Cross has a new home at 3747 Euclid Avenue. As a dynamic part of the Midtown Corridor, it demonstrates the Red Cross's commitment to the greater Cleveland community. We'll give you a tour of this facility, and you'll meet the people who offer such services as disaster relief, health services, blood collection. You'll also see the inside of a bloodmobile and a disaster van. All this on the next edition of Crossview, the American Red Cross Health Magazine Show. Watch for Crossview on your community access channel.
19-7 here is the final. West Geauga defeats Orange, and down on the field in the coach's corner we have head coach Don Schutz from West Geauga. Coach, congratulations.
Well, thank you. That was a big one for us. We needed that one.
I tell you, a couple of teams that were going in the same direction, just a lot of tough losses. Got to be nice to come out on the other end for a change.
Oh, it sure. I'll tell you what, it sure feels good having that, the big plays there and sticking with it. That was, like I said, that was a big one for us.
Yeah, how about that Wolverine defense?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, our defensive line was cranked up. The secondary was ready to play. Orange gives you a lot of formations and does a lot of things. I'll tell you, they got some good talent, but, our up front people did it tonight.
Coach, we talked before the game how much your offensive philosophy is to run, and Larry Flesher, Nick Katosi really did a good job for you tonight.
Yeah, and you know what's nice about both of them, they block for each other. In our wing T offense, Jerry carried the ball, and Nick was blocking for him, and then Jerry blocks, and Nick's carrying the ball. So they complement each other real well.
Well, congratulations once again, and a pleasure to have you on the Game of the Week.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right,
Thanks,
take
Coach.
care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Don Schutz, the head coach of West Geauga in his first year. And it really boils down to the defense. The defense was tremendous for both sides, really. I mean, Orange's defense had the unfortunate, was put in the unfortunate position of West Geauga getting the ball on their own 25-yard line.
Those couple of turnovers, right, when you're absolutely right, the second score by West Geauga, not so much that Orange handed it to them, but it put them in a good situation. Give West Geauga credit, they capitalized on it, and that was the big turning point in the ballgame.
Well, that'll do it from here as the West is looking on the far side. The West Geauga Wolverines heading for the buses, and we will be heading for the buses also. Next week, we've got a good one on tap for you, folks, so make sure you check your local listings and Channel 35 for the game in your area. It is going to be a good one. The executive producer of the Cablevision Game of the Week is Kerry Polachek, and the director is Kerry Polachek, and me and Dave produced this thing. The technical director, Chris McCarty. I understand he's back on the airwaves, too. Joe is here. The Mud is here. Everybody's
haven't
here.
seen Joe in a while. Good to have him with the crew tonight.
And another stellar job by the crew. Colder.
You know what I want to say real quick?
Than anything out there.
Scotty Polachek, for the whole game, other than the last 30 seconds, was not on the girls at all, but he just couldn't go one game without getting on the cheerleaders.
There's Rita, who does a great job with our lineup each and every week.
But the game wouldn't be the same without it.
That's right. And special thanks, of course, to Geppetto's Pizza and Ribs, the first place in taste, 691-1000, and Warehouse Beverage. As you see the crew ready to go home. Standing on the...
Hold on, Robert. We're almost out of here.
Having a rough one. The final score, once again, 19-7. This is Craig D. speaking for Scott Cirillo, saying so long from Orange High School. The final again, West Geauga 19 and Orange 7. Have a good week, everybody.